I'm walking with the Word today in the beautiful city of Jodhpur, India, and I've been thinking about the excuses that we often make to avoid sharing our faith. And the reason I'm so familiar with these excuses, I have to admit, is because I make them myself. The first excuse that we sometimes make to not share our faith is we say that it's a personal, private thing. And while there is a personal and private dimension to our faith, it was never meant to be exclusively personal. If you believe your faith is true, and if you believe your faith benefits you spiritually in the short and long term, and you believe it will be a benefit to other people, why not share it? But for some reason, we seem to view our faith as being something so personal. It's a bit like talking about your sex life. And what do you expect? If you communicate your faith in an awkward, apologetic, uncomfortable way, how are the people going to respond who are listening to you sharing? They're going to feel exactly the same. They're going to feel awkward, uncomfortable, as if you shouldn't be talking about it with them. So the way you feel about it is going to affect the way you communicate it. The second excuse we make for not sharing our faith is we sometimes say that that's a job of other people. That's a job of missionaries, evangelists, pastors, church leaders, people who are qualified to do it. As Christians, we're the people who practice our faith. But to practice your faith is to share your faith. The definition of a disciple is someone who makes disciples. Jesus calls every disciple to be a disciple maker. So if you have a relationship with Jesus, you follow Jesus, you're called to bring people also into a relationship with Jesus. And that's not inflicting religion on them. That's not trying to be a spoil sport or make their lives worse. That's bringing something awesome to them. The third excuse that we make so we can avoid sharing our faith is we sometimes say things like, the person isn't ready for it. I think if I share my faith with them, that it'll put them off more. In fact, they'll be further from God. We're not called to assess whether people are ready to receive the gospel. We're not called to assess how close people are to God. We're simply called to share our faith. And in my experience, when I've shared my faith with people, they've only ended up closer to God through it. And I really believe if you share your faith with a spirit of gentleness, humility, and love, it will only bring people closer to God. And even if they disagree with you, even if they think you're being a little bit inappropriate for sharing it, if you have the right spirit and the right way of doing it, it won't turn them further from God. It won't drive them away. Think about the parable of the sower. The sower sows seeds everywhere. He doesn't only sow seeds on the good soil that's ready. He sows seeds on all sorts of soil. And that's our responsibility as sowers of God's word, is to spread his word to everyone and anyone that we can. So there are 3 challenges along with 3 excuses. And let's see if we can share our faith more passionately, more lovingly, and more consistently.